All right, 3, 2, 1. Cut all this. What's up, everybody? We have some fun new leaks for the summer wave coming up later this summer 2023 from our friends at Promo Bricks. We have some first looks at what's coming up, including set number 75359, which is a 332nd Trooper Battle Pack, rumored currently at around $27. 4 minifigs, including the Captain Vaughn with the new clone helmets, and then 3 332nd Troopers again with the new clone helmets with, of course, those holes in it. So we're off to see what... This will be the first 332nd Trooper that we get with those new helmets, so we'll see how the print looks. We know how that turned out with the 212th Troopers, so we'll have to wait and see what those actually look like, because it's hard to tell from the images. And of course, until we get them in hand, we're not going to know if there's any kind of awkward inaccuracies with it. As for the set itself, $27-ish is a little rich for just 4 Troopers and a Swamp Speeder. And that's about it. It looks like there's an additional there's an additional stud shooter that comes with it, but you're essentially just getting 4 clone troopers for $27. Now compare that to the 501st Battle Pack at $30, which is similarly 4 clone troopers, but comes with 2 really good builds in a Bark Speeder and an AT-RT, and 2 battle droids for them to fight. So obviously a much better value in that 501st set compared to the 332nd set. Call it inflation, call it whatever you want, with LEGO kind of downgrading the value of what you get for your money. But this is just not doing it for me. I love the look of the 332nd Troopers. They're one of my favorite clone designs. But for $30 for 4 clone troopers and 1 just okay looking build, that doesn't do it for me. What do you folks think? You know, obviously we got to look at the images, and we'll see when we get it in hand and we get high-res images. But for now, not super impressed. There's rumors that it might be lower than $27. Maybe it goes down to $21. Okay, for $20, sure, I would absolutely be okay with that. I think that would be great. Great value for 4 clone troopers for $20, sure. But for $27, that's a little rich. And hopefully it is closer to that $20 mark. Next up is set number 75360. It's going to be a Yoda Starfighter with 2 minifigs. This is going to be $35 rumored. The 2 minifigs are Yoda and R2-D2. Now, this is a remake from a 2017 build, almost identical, just with a few updates. It's been 5 years. I'm totally okay with doing kind of refreshes on builds, especially after 5 years. For something, a simple looking build like this, does it need a refresh? Probably not. But, you know, I'm certainly not opposed to just doing updates every 5-10 years on these sets and just kind of show how LEGO has improved over time, and, you know, reflect that in the build of, here, there's some new building techniques, new parts, etc. And, you know, just whatever, things that have gone off that are no longer for sale, and having them available again just with a few updates. So, you know, I've never really liked this version of Yoda's TIE Fighter. I've never really liked this version of Yoda's Starfighter, so this is probably going to be a miss for me. I think $35, it's a decent value. 1 more minifig would have been great. You know, comparing this to Obi-Wan Starfighter that came with the Kaminoan, this would have been great. People are saying Darth Bane would have been great because that fits into the scene that you see Yoda's Starfighter in. Darth Bane minifigure would be awesome. That would really put this set above and beyond as like a must-have set from what now I consider as just kind of a miss in my book. Next, the big boy is the Yavin base, $170 for this guy. And what we can assume is at least 12 minifigs, probably topping out at 12 unless this image is cut off here. But from what we can see, some new minifigs in that Princess Leia is different from the X-Wing Princess Leia that we have. Can't really tell if the General Dodonna is any different, but we do get a Red Leader, Gold Leader, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, different droid, Rebel Fleet Trooper, and just a Rebel crewman. From the build images, it looks like there is kind of a backside to it, like a front and back, similar to Vader's castle, of having a display side in the front and then some play features on the other side. It looks like there's the war room in there and probably maybe a ceremonial chamber because we have Luke and Han in their Rebel ceremony gear with the that in their ceremony gear with the medallions on, so probably something to recreate that scene. Overall, the set looks pretty good. I really like that kind of MIDI scale Y-Wing. It was rumored that we were going to get a micro version of it, like a micro fighter Y-Wing, but it's quite a bit bigger than a micro fighter and a lot more detailed. So for $170, that's a lot of minifigs. And I think the build itself, the temple looks awesome. The Y-Wing looks really cool. I'm almost excited just to get it for the Y-Wing. And this many minifigs is really cool to have in a set like this. And I think $170 is a fair price. But what do you think? I don't think they could have thrown any more minifigs in this set because that's 12 is a lot. But are there any other play features that you're hoping to see on this? We can't really tell from the images, but hopefully that war room looks really cool, and it looks like there might be like a briefing room too as well on that underside. So we'll see about that, but so far I think it looks pretty good. I'm impressed with the images that we've seen. So that's what we know for coming up for 2023. Now, of course, that's in addition to the other upcoming sets of the Ghost, the Gunship, and the UCS Venator, which I'm super excited for, and I cannot wait till we get leaked images of those, especially the Ghost. It's one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. Cannot wait for an update. That's a really good example of what I was talking to earlier, is we've got these sets that are oppressively expensive because they're fan favorites and they're not being made anymore, but to just do a refresh on it and put it out, honestly, you could put it out as is. I've said it before, like I feel like there should be an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter just kind of always available in some form. So the ones that we have right now are just great kind of mid-level. They're not micro builds, they're quality, right in the middle for prices, sub $100 builds, not UCS sets, but just having those kind of mid-range builds always available is awesome, because I hate to see something like the Ghost go off sale and then you have to buy it in the secondary market and pay way too much for it. So it's great to have these kind of refreshes of the sets and have another opportunity to buy them without paying these exorbitant fees. So super excited for the Ghost. Of course, everybody loves the Venator. UCS Venator is going to be really, really cool and something that people have wanted for a really long time. Okay, so mechs. Are we going to talk about the mechs? Lego mechs. All right, we're going for it. We're gonna talk about it. So August 1st, the 3 mechs are rolling out, $15.99 each, $16 each. Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and a Stormtrooper. I know they're getting a lot of hate. They look okay. I think for $16, it's kind of a who cares situation for me. If I was a kid, it seems like exactly the kind of thing I would spend my allowance money on. I am not a kid, so they're going to be a miss for me. Just in general, the idea of them is fine. It's not really, I like things to be lore accurate, so this doesn't really work for me. But as for the way they look, the build, the fact that they're built around a minifig is fine. It's cool. It's a neat thing to put out. Similar to kind of like the brick built characters, it's just not something that speaks to me in general. But as for an idea and as for how it looks, I think I have no problem with it, especially with a $15 price tag. If they were charging 25 bucks each, I'd say get the hell out of here. I think the Boba Fett looks awesome. It's probably the best Boba Fett we've had since Cloud City, so I'm super excited just for that minifig. Almost worth 16 bucks just for that. The Stormtrooper is a little derpy, but I do like the Darth Vader minifig. I like the long lightsaber on his mech. That actually kind of makes sense. I could visualize Darth Vader in a giant mechanical suit with a huge lightsaber. That's kind of cool. It's a neat kind of what-if scenario, but I think they're priced right. They look okay, especially if you're a kid and you're going to buy this. You're buying it for a child or for a younger person. Who cares? Like, they look fine. I don't think they're necessarily worthy of all the hate that they're getting, because you just don't buy it, you know, if you're not into it. All right, so that's all we got for what's coming up in the rest of this summer for 2023. Let me know in the comments what you think of these sets. Are you excited for? Which ones could you take or leave? But thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, you know, all that jazz. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.